Hello? Hello?
Hello,
Hi,
welcome,
Deborah.
Yeah, I can't hear
welcome, Deborah.
anybody. Okay.
Hello, please turn off your mic, okay? We are getting some feedback.
Okay.
You can turn on your video if you want. I mean, okay. Starting right about now. Good afternoon, everyone. Welcome to this wonderful occasion and Women Tech Makers event. My name is Cynthia Ifomaise, and I'm going to be moderating today's event. I'm an iOS engineer and started off from the Department of Computer Science, and I've been making progress since then. Yeah, from I've been to different departments, entire graphic design, web development, but right now I would call myself an iOS engineer. Yes. So I'm saying welcome to everyone. I've been taking classes and making progress from taking classes to doing the actual job. And today I want to welcome you to this amazing event. I'd like to welcome you on behalf of the organizers of this event, the GDG team and WTM. So I also want to welcome the wonderful speakers and everyone that took out time from their busy schedule to join us to be part of this today's event. So today's team is welcome Kosi Sochukwu. Progress, not perfection. And I would like to add a quote by Helmut. He said, "The biggest room in the world is a room for improvement." And at the end of this occasion, you would come to better understand what that means. So right now, I would call the one of the organizers of this event, Joy Amadikwa, to continue with the introduction. Thank you.
Um, okay, thank you very much, Cynthia, for that wonderful presentation. Um, so I want to welcome each and every one of us to this event, and thank you for taking out your time to attend this event, to our speakers, and to the attendees. Um, we are grateful, the GDG Owerri, the WTM and Owerri, we welcome each and every one of you into today's event. So I don't know if you can hear me well. So most of us have been asking what is WTM. WTM is actually Women Techmakers. It's a community for women in Google. Google saw the need to include more women into technology, so they tried to come up with the community, Women Techmakers. And Women Techmakers is actually in different locations. Can find it in different community like states. One in Lagos. You can also see it in USA. Can see it in Canada. No matter where you find yourself, we all have an ambassador that is representing the local community for women in that your location. And we happen to be one of the chapters in the region, we are the WTM Owerri. So I want to say thank you very much and welcome once again to today's event. And feel free to relax and enjoy the section. Our speakers, you have wonderful speakers that will put us through in one way or the other, ranging from YouTube, Azure, and how to get jobs and different, lots of them actually, and also how to start your career, start off your career in tech. So just feel free to relax and enjoy this thing. And just note one thing that always try to make progress, even if it's not perfect, because a little bit of the progress will make your work perfect. So thank you once again for joining today's section and see you as we ride on. So thank you, Cynthia.
Thank you, Joy, for that wonderful intro. Okay. Yeah, so I'll be calling on our first speaker. Our first speaker is Mercy, and she'll be speaking on securing a non-tech role in a tech company. So, Mercy, please.
Okay, so good afternoon, everyone. Can you please can you hear me? Can you guys hear me?
Okay, yes, we can
All
hear you.
right, great.
Yes, we can hear. Yeah.
Okay, perfect. So let me just quickly apologize, right? So I'm currently kind of like in a conference. I just had to excuse myself to have this presentation. So at some point in my presentation, my background is going to be noisy, but I'll try as much as possible to be audible so that you guys can still hear me regardless. Um so I would just like to thank the organizers of this event for finding me worthy to actually be a speaker, right? And please, if at any point you guys can't hear me, just let me know so that I can probably try to control the noise, right? So yeah, like I was saying, I would like to thank the organizers for finding me worthy to be a speaker. And today I'm going to be speaking on securing a non-tech role in a tech company. All right. So sorry, can you guys still hear me? Sorry, can you
Yes, we
guys
can
still
hear
hear me?
you. Yes, we can hear you.
All right, thank you. All
Yes,
right.
I can hear you.
Okay, great. So yeah, I'm Messi Ajiboye and I'm a program associate at Decagon. And today I'm going to be speaking on securing a non-tech role in a tech company. Please, can you move to the next slide, Joy? All right. So yeah, because I have limited time, I'm going to be speaking on what are non-technical roles, some examples and skills of non-technical roles, overarching skills in the tech space, how to secure a non-technical role, and finally, questions to help you find your niche. All right. So the next slide. Yeah. So what are non-technical roles? You know, a lot of us will be wondering. We're already talking about tech. So what is now non-tech in tech again? Like, how is it possible that we are talking about being in the tech space, being in the tech ecosystem, and we're still talking about non-tech in tech, right? So it might interest us to know that the non-tech that we're talking about is because the technicality in tech is about coding, right? So if you're somebody who does not know how to code, there's still a space for you in tech. So tech roles and non-tech roles are actually job positions that do not require coding skills or other core IT skills. All right, and they are as equally valuable, challenging, and lucrative as any other technical role that we have out there. Looking at my slide, you'll see that I actually added a report from glassdoor.com, and they were like saying that recruiters of technical recruiters today actually recruit as high as 43% of non-tech jobs and 57% of tech jobs. That's to tell you that the tech jobs and the non-tech jobs are kind of like in any time from now, like in years to come, they are going to even out. That's not to tell you that the tech roles are as equally important as non-technical roles. All right. So please, the next slide, Joy. All right, thank you very much. So some examples and skills of non-technical roles that we have. Number one is the product manager. I'm sure a lot of us on this call must have heard about product management, and we are just wondering what is product management, what is project management, what is program management. We're just like kind of like a bit confused, right? So, but it might interest you to know that one thing that cuts across these three skills or these three roles is the fact that you do not require a coding skills to be a product manager or a program manager or a project manager. All right, provided it's not a technical program manager role or a technical project manager role, right? You do not require skills. You do not require like coding skills to be a product manager. So what are the skills you require to be a product manager in a tech space? So number one is collaborative. You have to be somebody who has good collaborative skills. You have to be somebody who has creative skills. You have to be somebody who has strong communication skills and empathy amongst others. So moving on, we have UX designers. UX designers are like the ones that design all those, when you go to a website now, like, there are some designs that would see on your mobile apps or even on your website, right? So they're most likely the ones that design all these things, right? So for you to be a UX designer, what you need to do is just have a design background or maybe an interest in design. You might not have a design background, but design is something that you're actually interested about. It's something that, whenever you see design, you're usually just interested. You're just curious to know, oh, how were they able to do this, right? So you can easily be a UX designer if you're somebody that has those qualities. Another thing is copywriter or technical writer, right? So for you to be a technical writer, you have to be somebody who loves writing. You have to be somebody who is curious. You have to be somebody who is creative and full of new ideas, because you have to write about trends, like things that are just coming up in the space, and just try to flow with the whole thing. All right. Moving on. Second to the last skills that I have here is operations manager. So operations manager is kind of like almost all the tech, not even almost all the tech companies actually have chief operations officers who we know as the CEOs, right? So you might be somebody who does not have a technical skill, like you don't know how to code, and this is like a role that you can actually be in. For example, I am currently a programs manager for Web3 Ladies, and on some other days I work as the operations manager, and I don't know how to code. So how am I able to do this, right? Is because I just like, I'm somebody who loves being organized. I'm somebody who I can actually work under pressure. I'm somebody who is comfortable making judgments and even decisions quickly, right? So finally, for some of the skills I have here is the marketing manager. And this is, for you to be a marketing manager, you just have to be somebody who is comfortable with data and understand it's important. Because for you to market any product in tech, you have to rely on data to get insights on what your customers want, to sort of get insight of what is trending out there, to get insight of revenue, to get insight of the number of users that are going to use your product, to get insight to your products. So these are like things to have. And it might interest you all to know that some of these 5 roles that I've actually identified on my slide are not all the non-technical roles they are in the space. This is actually a non-exhaustive list, which means that there are a lot of other technical, non-technical roles that we have that have not aligned here. That are highlighted here on my slide. So let us do what you just do our research on these non-technical roles. Now, I haven't spoken about some of the skills and some of the roles that you need. Generally in tech, right? If you're somebody who wants to get into the tech space and maybe you don't know how to code, there are other soft skills that you really need to have as a person for you to thrive in the space. The first one is communication. You would agree with me that ability to communicate with supervisors and colleagues is actually very important, because in the tech space, you're actually going to work with a lot of people. You work across diverse teams. You probably even have to interface with some people, you get. So that is one thing about communication. Your ability to communicate with your supervisors, your ability to communicate with your colleagues is actually of high importance. Another thing is organization, right? Organization actually allows you to be more effective and productive at work, since tech roles are dynamic. For example, as a product manager, there's somebody who would probably you work with the design team, you work with the engineering team, you have to report to the head of product of your company. You might even have to discuss with the business people, the business developers, or the CEO of your company. So you have to be somebody who is organized. Today you are writing PRGs, tomorrow you are reviewing mock-ups, the next day you are just, planning sprints and just doing all sorts of things. So if you're somebody who is not organized, right, you won't be able to thrive in this space. And that's why organization is actually very, very important, not just for a product manager, but for everybody who is going to actually come into this space. The next skill is creativity, right? Mark Zuckerberg and Bill Gates that started Microsoft and Facebook respectively, you would agree with me that they were actually creative. Mark he was a dropout, and I was just thinking, by the time we finished school, how will I keep communicating with my friends? And that was where the idea came in to build Facebook. So if there was no creativity in the first place, we won't have the likes of Facebook, we won't even have the likes of Google, we won't have Microsoft, we won't have all those big tech companies, we won't even have Netflix. Maybe we'll still be going around with DVD players and just trying to do stuff. But you'd agree with me that the key players in tech are people who are creative, right? People who really who know how to just sort of solve people's problem. And that is why creativity is a must-have skill for you if you are going to play in the non-technical ecosystem in the tech space. The next one is perseverance, right? So the best IT professionals are those who tinker around persistently to provide solutions to problems, right? There's something called iteration in tech, whereby when you probably launch your MVP, you have to go back, keep adding what's it called, keep adding features, just keep doing things to just sort of make your product better. If you're somebody who does not know how to persevere, right, at the end of the day, you would really get tired and you get bored and you just want to give up and not just want to continue with that tech skills that you've actually started out in. And that is why perseverance is actually very, very important and key for you if you are going to go into the non-tech space. And finally, we have problem solving, right? Problem solving is, technology is all about solving problems, making life better, right? So the skill is a must-have skill. I can imagine if we don't have WhatsApp today. I can imagine if we don't have Twitter. I can imagine if we don't have Facebook. We are all going to be bored in our rooms just staring at ourselves. Probably the only time you get to meet with your friend is when you go to visit them in their houses. There's no way you can even communicate with them. For example, I'm here now at a conference and I can still have this session because of technology. And that is because somebody out there has actually solved the problem of, having to meet with people, teleconferencing with people, even though you guys are not in the same space at the same time. So that's why problem solving is a must-have skill for you to be in the non-technical space. Please, next slide. All right, thank you very much. So how do you secure a network role? I've actually gone through the skills that you need. I've even given examples of some of the roles that you can have in the tech space. But the assignment is on you to actually get started. And on this slide, I've actually itemized ways by which you can get started in the non-technical space. And the first one is do your research. All right, do your research. For example, I'm a graduate of Agric, Agricultural Extension from Obafemi Awolowo University, and today I'm in the tech space. And people are like, how does it relate? A graduate of Agric coming into tech? It doesn't really make sense, right? I didn't even know that I was going to be I'm going to be in the tech space. All my assumptions has been that, okay, maybe what's come to what, I end up being a lecturer, or even maybe work in the bank or work in one of the big fours if I probably transition into the management consulting space. But as luck would have it, I found myself in Decagon, and here I am, a tech lady, right? So what did I do? I actually did my research. Before leaving school, I took courses in product management, I took courses in human resources management, and as luck would have it, I got a job in Decagon, and I've been able to just keep upskilling myself, right? But I didn't just take this product management course. I didn't just take HR. I actually did my research. I did my research to actually know what I wanted, what suits me. You get. So after doing your research, the next thing for you to do is to upskill. Upskilling is all about adding to what you already know. All right. For example, I told you that I'm currently at a conference. This is like a means for me to upskill because I am here to learn about what is trending in the tech space, which is Web3. Okay, so upskill. There are a lot of free resources online. YouTube is there for you to consume. We have a lot of online platforms like Udacity. We have Udemy. We have Coursera. A lot of them. A lot of these things have free courses. Just try as much as possible to use them. And some of them might even be particular they might be specific to a niche. For example, we have product school for product management. We have product dive. We have a lot of all these things that can be specific. So in doing your research, you get to know more about all these things. Then the next one is join communities, right? So I'm currently on nothing less than 4 communities on Slack that is geared towards product management. And that is not because of the fun of I just want to join communities. No. For example, I told you guys that I kind of Web3 as a programs manager, right? I actually started working in Web3 Ladies as a programs manager because I went for a conference and I was able to network with the founder, and from there I was able to join a lot of communities and I've done a lot of things. Right, I know some of the things that I know today in product management because of the communities that I'm part of. because resources, they continually share resources, they continually share programs, they continually just share things that are going to be useful for us, right? So joining communities, the best way, the fastest way for you to learn is to join communities, because what that will do for you is that it will help you to be focused and it will help you to be motivated. Sometimes when you just want to give up, that, oh, I'm tired, this thing is not for me. By the time you see other people like yourself that started out still persevering, trying to make sure that they are doing well in the space, you would not want to, you will not want to just not want to continue, right? Because of fear of missing out on some other things. So that is the advantage. That is what joining communities will do for you. The next one is volunteer, right? I've volunteered for a lot of things before I maybe became the program manager for Web3 Ladies. I actually volunteered to work with them. I was like, okay, you know what? I'm interested in Web3 and I don't mind volunteering for you, provided I will learn in the process. So I volunteered, and from there today, I'm the programs manager, right? So it all starts from the will. Just be willing to just put into use that skill you've learned at the upskilling stage. Be ready to just look for all the opportunities you have. If there is no opportunity, create one for yourself. So it is in volunteering that you create opportunities for yourself, right? So just volunteer. And finally, visibility. Visibility, make use of online tools like LinkedIn. I got my job on LinkedIn. I've got so many opportunities on LinkedIn that I can't even talk about. Twitter too is a good space to sell yourself if you're somebody who is going to thrive in the tech space. We have Twitter for you, you have LinkedIn. So just make use of the power of social media to sell yourself. All right. So the next slide, please. So can you guys still hear me?
Yes.
So
Yes, we can hear you. Continue.
perfect, thank you. So finally, questions to help you find your niche. Some people might be like, okay, I've done the research, I've done a lot of things, and some people actually find researching difficult, right? For example, myself, I hate researching. I hate just going on social media, on the internet and just browsing about stuff, right? So I've actually created some questions that you can ask yourself to make the work easier for you. And the first one is, what are my skills, right? What are the things you have? For example, myself, I knew that I'm somebody who loves talking. I'm a friendly person. So that's being friendly is more like a people person. So I decided to, okay, let me do HR and products, because products, you also have to, interact with your product team, interact with the engineering team, interact with your design team, right? So those are questions you should ask yourself. What are my skills? What are you good at? Then the next thing is, what are your interests? So what interests you? Right? One of the reasons why I joined Web3 Ladies was not because I just wanted to join for fun. It was because I'm somebody who loves anything women empowerment, right? So I was like, okay, since women empowerment is a thing that I love doing, let me join Web3 Ladies. So the next one is, what am I excited about learning? What do you want to learn? Ask yourself the question, what am I excited about learning? I'm somebody who, when I see products, for example, some of these products I make, I'm just curious, how do they come about? How do they know that after this particular login, the next thing is you should be seeing your dashboard or something, things like that, right? If you're curious about, oh, I really want to know how this works, then maybe products management might be the niche for you. The next one is, what problems am I passionate about solving? All right. The next one is, what kind of challenges do I get excited about? Are you the type of person that likes challenging situations? You are just hell bent on finding solutions to things. If you're somebody like that, then maybe you might have to go and learn coding, because I know coding is not easy. But if you're somebody who has enough patience to sit in, try to bug, or just try to see what's wrong with a particular line of code, then maybe you might even want to go into the technicalities that we're talking about, that we're not talking about today, which is maybe being a software developer. But there are other things that you are usually excited about. Maybe you signed up on a website and you realize that you don't like the field, user field, you don't like the color, everything is just like not just appealing to you. So UI UX might be something you might want to consider, or even maybe product design, for example. Then finally, what do I see myself doing for years? Right? It is enough for you that you're planning for the now, you're also planning for the future. Make sure that anything you are venturing into now is actually a stepping stone to where you want to be in the future. All right. And I think that's all from my end. Next question. Okay, I don't know if anybody has any questions. That's actually the end of my presentation. Any question? So if you have a question, just unmute yourself or just ask in the chat. Thank you.
Hello.
Here's a question. Yeah, I can hear you, please.
Yeah, thank you very much for the nice presentation, Mercy.
Yeah.
My question is, can this presentation be shared via our email since the event is not being recorded?
Okay, sure, no problem. So I would share the Joy already even has my slides, so she
The
can just forward it to you guys via email.
okay.
Yeah.
Yeah, the event is recorded though. You can go to YouTube to watch the event. So we'll upload the link.
Okay, so somebody is asking,
Right.
how can we join the Web3 women community? All right, so I would send the link to joining Web3 ladies to Joy. So Joy would share with you guys. All right, so I would share the link to join our community with you guys. I currently don't have the link now. I don't think I can access it where I am. So once I have it, I'll share it with Joy. Then she can forward to you guys via email. Yeah, thank you. So any other question? All right, so since there are no questions, guys, because I have to run now, right? They're waiting for me. So you can just connect with me on LinkedIn, you can connect with me on Instagram, and you can connect with me on Twitter, right? So like I already promised, I would send the link to joining Web3 Ladies to join so that you guys can join. And if you have any questions, feel free to reach out to me on LinkedIn. I will be ready to help. Yeah, thank you very much.
Thank you so much, Mercy, for that wonderful session. We really enjoyed it and we learned a lot. So for ladies that don't really want to go into the coding part of tech, right? So there's a non-tech role, there are non-tech roles that and much more than the ones that she has mentioned. So you can always look up and check out other roles that is suitable for you. So you just go into tech. I mean, there's a lot of people that want to join tech, but they don't really love coding. They're not really okay or comfortable about the whole coding thing. So there's always something for you to do. So you can always be part of this community and like we have Mercy, and we also have a whole lot of other people that you can reach out to, ask questions where you find confusing or any question or inquiry you would like to make. So you can always reach out to. That's why we have these communities. Okay, you're always welcome anytime to ask questions. Thank you very much, Mercy, for that wonderful session. We really learned a lot. So I'll be calling the second speaker, yes, to that would, okay, will be taking us on reaching audacious goals, both personal or professional, by Dr. London Jackson. I don't know if I pronounced that correctly, but yes, Dr. Jackson, we are your go on. Thank you very much.
Thank you. Let me get my technology going. And let me know if you can see my screen. I won't be able to see you.
Yes, I can see your screen.
You can see it. Perfect. And you're right. My name is London, like the city.
Okay. You're welcome.
Okay. So I can't see anyone. I only have one screen, but thank you everyone for asking me to come aboard and talk. I'm looking forward to this. My name is London Jackson, and my pronouns are she, her, and doctor. I am the global head of help and creator education for YouTube. And less than 10 years ago, I was a high school science teacher. Now, before I get started, I would like for everyone to grab a piece of paper, a pen, open up a Word doc, and get ready to put down some of your audacious goals. I'm going to talk about my audacious goals, and it would be such a wasted opportunity if everyone out there didn't use this time to think about some of the audacious things you want to accomplish in your personal and professional life. So I want to start this journey with you and begin with the best 24 hours of my life. Now that is a bold statement because I've had some awesome experiences. So much so, my friends and family call them my audacious stories. But this day took place in November 2012. It was full of randomness, and I was 37 years old. I share my age because it is central to this journey. At the age of 29, a friend of mine told me about an article that had the exercise of writing down 30 things you want to accomplish by 30. Now, nothing makes me happier than making a list. It lowers my anxiety, it helps me focus, it gives me a framework and a North Star to how I spend my time. This is a picture of my list. I've now digitized them, but I keep these in my safe because they are considered some of my prized possessions. When I made my 30 by 30 list, I had audacious goals, I had mundane goals, and I also had a few questionable ones. Every year I make a new one, and each year the list gets longer and a little harder to create. I'm currently working on my 46 things to accomplish by 46. So, going back to the best 24 hours of my life, picture it. I'm on a solo trip halfway around the world, taking a cooking class. As you can see, a picture of me being very serious and studious. I used my voice, I made deals, I got outside of my comfort zone, and I just did stuff like attending a Muay Thai fight, watching a random concert, and then to the end of that day, getting to the hotel just enough time to pack up and get to the airport just the right amount of time. I've had several similar experiences since that day, but this annual exercise has helped me to grow, gain confidence, and honestly put things out in the atmosphere that was ultimately benefited me professionally and personally. This is where you're going to start writing down your things. Now, this has been almost a 16-year journey. I wanted to share some of my highlights and themes I pulled from these experiences. But first, I ask you to write down one thing you want to do or accomplish by your next birthday, even if your birthday is tomorrow. Now, it's going to be some uncomfortable silence, but I'm going to give you 10 seconds. Go ahead and write down that one thing. Now you're going to do that. You're going to continue to do this. And even as I'm talking, please continue to add more to your list. For our time together, there are 4 major themes I would like to share. 1, be audacious. Push yourself to the next level. 2, on the flip side, boring is okay too. 3, celebrate the small wins. And 4, it's all about forward thinking and living in the moment. So first, do epic shit. Excuse my language. I'll try not to curse too much. But this is the motto I try to live by. Epic doesn't always have to be the wildest thing. The definition of epic depends on who you are, what you want, and honestly, what makes the most sense in your life at any given time. In 2020, an epic experience was generally putting on my jeans and going to the supermarket. Now, I pulled some of my goals from past and present lists. I haven't reached all of these things because I can only be so awesome. But every year when I create these lists, I have carryover. There has never been a year that I accomplished everything I said I would, and that's okay. For more context, when I created my 30 by 30 list, I had the audacity to put be Dr. J. At that point, I wasn't even enrolled in grad school, nor did I have a master's degree. But it was a goal that I wrote down every year. And on my 37 by 37 list, I was able to cross it out. I also went back and crossed it out on every list for the previous 7 years. And that was an epic feeling. So, again, when you look at what you've already wrote down, can you think of something even more audacious? I'm going to give you 10 more seconds. So my professional life has been just as epic as my personal. These days were epic because they were major pivot points in my career. Although each one of these were epic and pivotal, they also came with great cost, either to my pride, raised doubts in my abilities, or took a financial toll. For example, when I quit teaching, I left a 12-year career, a pension, and great health insurance. I live in the US, that's hugely important, and $90,000 salary. I didn't want to become a principal, so I found a job in a research department for a tech marketing company. It was an experience where a team of published researchers, who were all women, was led by a vice president who let everyone know he barely graduated from high school, dropped out of college, but he knew a guy, and that's how we got the job. Not only that, I also took a $15,000 a year pay cut, and I no longer had summers off. I only lasted 6 months. This was the first demoralizing experience where I learned you can make an epic leap and still get disappointed. Now, I never returned back to teaching, but I did have an epic summer that year in Italy. The next big pivot point in my career was when I found my second job in tech, which was a full 3 years after I left the classroom. For this job, I came in at the bottom of the ladder. No management, the lowest paid person on my team, and a lot of responsibility. This was a job to get on the ladder, but I climbed that ladder quickly because I followed the same advice I give my team and my mentees. 1, I ask for what I want. 2, I'm clear about the problem I want to solve. And 3, I have a well thought out plan and I'm ready to execute. For my promotion to VP, it was a role that did not even exist. I went from an IC, individual contributor, to having a team of more than 20 around the US and UK. I walked into that role with a clear plan, and I was able to execute by being able to make an impact on the business, the product, and the user. The same thing happened when Google recruited me. I asked for a much bigger compensation package than what they originally offered. Also, my first one-on-one with my manager, I said the following: when you get promoted, I want to be the next logical person to fill your role. I was promoted the following year. Set a goal so big that you can't achieve it until you grow into the person who can. The mundane. Now, the mundane is small wins that need to be celebrated just as much as the audacious. I purposely sit in this chair to watch sunrises. Another example of a great sunrise was the end of that epic 24 hours in Thailand. It is easy to forget about your physical, mental, social, and emotional health. I'm someone who tries to have a work-life balance, but the reality of long hours and endless meetings caused me to forget and deprioritize myself. I add these to the list every year. They are small things, but these are personal goals that put me first. These lists reflect how I choose to spend my time, and it's honestly a framework of how it helps me to make decisions about how I spend my time. I was never disappointed about getting up early to see a sunrise, nor finishing a book, or getting out and networking with like-minded people. So going back to your list, thinking of my list as an example, look at yours and add some mundane things that you want to accomplish in the next year. I'll give you a couple of seconds. So just like my personal life, my professional life is full of mundane. These mundane goals are purposeful and most importantly, help me execute, which is the key indicator for success in any job. I have a standing focus time on my calendar with a do not schedule banner. I start my day and go through my triage P0 emails and tasks. And if I have time, I get to my priority ones or my P1s. I schedule lunch 30 minutes to an hour every day. I also have what I call a moment block, 15 minutes. I end each day triaging my email. Net zero is my goal. A chunk of my email goes to end of week, reading reserved for Fridays. I also end each day prepping for the next day meetings by reading the agenda and asking for one if there was one not attached. Every Friday is no meeting day, and I spend the bulk of my time reading triaged emails, newsletters, and just educating myself about the business. These items may not make it on my annual list, but the daily tasks have definitely provided a framework to how I choose the right projects, build a network, and make the time to be selfish and take care of myself. Third, it's finding a path. Every year I go through the exercise to read and reflect on the prior lists. I've done this for 16 years, and it is both shocking on some of the audacious things I've strived for and met, but also a little comical. It's comical because my path seems so clear and purposeful, especially because I feel like I'm in a place that I've strived so hard and so long to get to. But the reality is that depending on the year and the list, my path was all over the place. Sometimes I even went in circles. I wanted to buy a home in my hometown, but I also wanted to move to the East Coast in the US. And then I also wanted to move to San Francisco. I wanted to be brave and take myself out to dinner. And I also wanted to visit 100 countries by myself. I wanted to become a principal at a high school. And I also wanted to be a published author for public policy. All the things I wrote down were valid and genuine, and they also clearly reflected the windy path to how I got to where I'm at now, including being a principal gave me the skills of balancing an 8-figure budget for a school district and managing 100+ person staff. I sold everything when I was 39 years old, quit my job and moved to the East Coast with my then boyfriend, now husband. My dissertation, my book, and research was all about financial education and policy. My first VP job was to create content on financial literacy. My first Google job was managing a policy team. I wanted to move and moved 7 times in 5 years, ending up in San Francisco, where I'm currently at. And I've traveled to more than 50 countries, mostly by myself. And I've had solo dinners and adventures all around the world. In fact, I'm taking myself to dinner tonight, and I'm currently in Zurich, Switzerland. You know where you're going, you know, examples of where you're going somewhere new, and it feels like it takes forever to get there. But then on your way back home, it feels like time just flies. When people get lost, we end up going in circles. So for me, it has helped me to stop, reflect, pivot, find, or define a new path. And sometimes I've stumbled into things, but the skills and experiences I've picked up throughout my life has gotten me to where I'm at now. Now it's time to do it again. It's time to write down some more goals. What are some things you would like to accomplish that may seem outside your path or will help you move forward the path you're currently on? I'll give you a couple of seconds to do that. Now, I've shared my personal and professional life, and it's not a straight line. The idea of these lists are to think out loud, put it out in the universe, and challenge yourself. When I question myself, doubt my ability, or wonder what is next, I go back and review and reflect. Crossing out those audacious and small wins are so fulfilling, but the practical steps I add every year are just as important. For example, I want to be able to retire at 50. When I look back at my list, I see these things I've listed that have helped me to get towards that goal. Some even before I knew that was a goal that I had in mind. For example, at 30, I wanted to pay off 1 credit card. At 34, I wanted to start investing in the stock market. At 37, I wanted to be debt-free. At 40, I wanted to save 60% of my income each year. At 45, I wanted to be a millionaire. At 46, I want to buy my forever home. I now have 54 months until I retire. The future. Now, before I end, the last theme is about the future. Making a to-do list is literally thinking about the future. But for my list, I highlight some big things I want to do on upcoming milestones. I didn't always do this, but as I grow older, I get more audacious and strategic. Plus, it gives me something to look forward to. For me, 50 is the next big one. I'm already getting ready for it and already started that list. Excuse me. For the last exercise, begin thinking about your next big milestone. Jot down one future goal, 10, 20, 30 years down the road. And I'll give you a couple of seconds to do that. Excuse me. I recently spent 30 days with my mom in Italy. Even though she's 69, she was able to walk 12,000 steps almost every day. I strive to be able to take care of her when she no longer can, and to stay healthy, to live the life my parents dreamed for me. I also strive to think strategically about how I want to spend the next 5 years of my career. I ultimately want to have the choice not to work, to be financially free. But I'm also someone who still has some audacious career goals. It is a balance, but ultimately it's a challenge to maximize my time professionally and financially, leaving the possibility of excelling in some other way without necessarily doing a 9-to-5 job. I put myself in an odd position. I want to retire in 54 months, but I also want to be in C-suite. Now I have confidence, but I know I will not be reporting to Susan, the CEO of YouTube, or Sundar, the CEO of the Alphabet, in such a short amount of time. But I can set myself up for a role that will meet my financial and professional goals. There are a lot of C-suite jobs out there. On the flip side, I want to retire and hopefully have a good 30 to 40 years of financial freedom. Working for Google definitely sets me up for that reality. So is leaving Google an option? Honestly, I'm not sure. But I want to make sure that I set myself up to have options. At the age of 49, I might get the chance to have both things. Or I've reached my financial goals and it can experiment as a C-suite executive in another company. And who knows, maybe I might find a whole other career and sit on board of directors or go around and give keynote speeches in my retirement. But again, the goal is giving myself options. Now with that, I close with this. Please take the time to go back and look at your list, add more to it. Think of the epic stuff, the mundane, the next step in your path, what you want for your future. Be judicious with your time on this earth, but also have fun with it. Thank you very much for joining me on this journey.
Wow. Wow. Thank you so much, Jackson, for that wonderful section. Really, we have learned a lot from from your teaching, from your class. Yes. Personally, I have. I don't know. How about others? Joy. Wow. Please unmute yourself, please.
Thank
Please
you
mute
so
that
much.
back. Okay.
You.
That was wonderful. So it's
Wow. I actually thought I'm the only one that is having carry over with, with what you want.
I'm happy to answer your questions if anyone has them.
yes, because the thing is, uh, there's no point running around in circles. I think knowing exactly what you are going towards, what you're working towards, kind of gives you a clearer picture of what you want to achieve. Yes, no, you most people are just, yes, I want to get a job with Google, I want to work with this company, I want to. Why exactly? Why are you doing it? Because someone else did that. Why do you want to do this? Why am I doing this? What am I trying to achieve on the long run? Is this just the name? What exactly am I doing? So you don't end up going round and round in circles. I love that. I love that you just talked about writing down your goals and making it clear. It's okay. I know why I'm doing this. This is what I'm working towards. This is it. Like, I loved your section. Thank you so much.
Thank you.
Okay, if you have questions, okay, you can. This is a time you can ask your questions, please. Sure, she is delighted to answer them. Please.
Or you can type them.
Okay.
Any question from anybody? Rina?
None from me. It's quite clear that for you to be able to, reach your goal in life and achieve what you've set yourself to achieve and the purpose that you want to live for, you need to be audacious, right? You need to have that clear picture of what you want to do and articulate them. Most times we just say it in our mind, we just keep it in our head, but it really actually helps stating those things, writing it down and looking at it and evaluating it, right? It helps give you that clearer picture on how you are going to plan yourself and how you are going to execute, and not just having it in your head. So it was a nice session. Thank you, Jackson.
No worries.
Thank you,
I,
Rina.
yeah.
Okay, I think we have questions on the comment section. Please check your
Yeah, I'll
someone's
take a look.
asking. Okay.
Yeah, I
What to
definitely,
do
I
if
see one
you feel
question.
like you are unsure of your goal? What do you do? Okay. Just guys asking that.
Yeah, I think, I want to, I'm not always clear about my goals. Like, sometimes I try to figure out how I got here, but it's really stepping back and reflecting. Another big thing is, honestly, sometimes I was upset with myself because I spent so many years being a teacher. I didn't really like teaching, but I did it because that's what my mom wanted me to be. And I kind of look back going, did I waste 12 years of my life? And I was kind of stuck in that rut for a while there. But then I kind of stepped back and I was like, I had to rebrand myself, rethink of how that was. And that's when I talk about those experiences. Being a teacher, I had to be able to program, manage, and teach 150 kids a day. I had to create lesson plans. I had to lead meetings and go out in the community and work. Those were all transferable skills. And I had to step back and go, how can I put that on the resume for people to understand that, yeah, I was a teacher, but I was also a leader. I was a program manager. I was creative designer. I was a writer, a content strategist, all those things. So it's like if you're in this position, it's like you kind of have to step back. Yeah, it's one thing to write down the goals, but the second thing is the reflection. All those experiences that you've gained in your life, they mean something. And it's just about kind of stepping back and seeing how it transfers into the goals that you're trying to get to. But what am I unsure about? I'm not sure about my future. Like, I got here, this was the ultimate dream, to work for a FANG company, a big tech company. And for the past 2 years, I'm like, what's next? What do I do next? So I'm still unsure. I know I want to retire at 50, but do I? I don't know if I want to sit around and do nothing for 30 years. I like to have the choice to do that, but I'm honestly not sure about my future right now. But I'm making myself options, and I think that's the key thing.
Okay.
Okay. Hello, I do have a question.
Okay, go on.
Okay. What if along the line you get disappointed? Let's say you try to achieve one of the list and things got messy. How do you cope? Eventually we could be very optimistic, but then life is not always like that. How do you cope?
Mm-hmm. Oh yeah. I mean, I think that's the reality of it. I think for me, when I said I have these audacious goals on that list, I have never for the past 16 years was able to cross out everything on that list. Never. I've never accomplished all of that. And I'm a high achiever, but I was never able to do that. But I'm okay with that. I've applied for jobs I didn't get that I thought I should have gotten. Um I've gotten jobs and found out that I was getting paid the least amount of money. That experience of where I joined that first team, the first leap outside the classroom, and to have a VP that wasn't qualified, they just knew somebody. It was disappointing. And I'm not going to say it didn't hurt. I'm not going to say I haven't taken any financial tolls because of it, but I learned from it. And I think that, again, writing it down, I'm a writer. I like to put it out in the universe, just writing it down and going, yeah, that sucked. That didn't work out, but what else can I do? So, I mean, I think it's a balance. It's a reality. You don't always get what you want, but at the same time, as my mom always told me, don't let them break your spirit. Keep it moving forward.
Okay, thank you.
Mhm.
Thank you.
Mhm. So, how do you get over? I think I'm reading. So, how do you get over your inner imposter syndrome? I'm going to sound like a bad person, but I don't have imposter syndrome. I really don't. And once I got over, like, when I first came into the tech company, it's easy for people to do things to make it feel like you don't belong. But one of the things I put on my list, I forgot what year it was, maybe 33. A goal of mine was to walk into every room like I belong and I ooze confidence. And I purposely took classes. I pumped myself up. I also am very much an observer and I see people as well. And not everybody, like leaders and all those people that are sitting in the classroom, one thing you really realize is they don't know everything. Some of them don't even belong in the room, but somehow they're in there. And once I wrap my head around that I belong in that room, that's why I talk the way I talk. So I don't know. I think once you kind of step back and really look at the humans in that room and kind of put them down a level, you kind of realize, yeah, I'm just as good as they are. I belong in this place just as much as anybody else.
Oh, that's amazing. I mean, that's something that a whole lot of people should learn. Yeah, but it, it is difficult to wrap your head around it at first. But I think when you keep practicing it, you get used to that. Yeah, we have it as a
Yeah.
topic by
Hmm.
next week, right? Yeah, we're
Yep.
going to be talking more of that later. So right now, would want us to do the post it on social media, just so other people can be aware of what we're doing here. Please, you can let's just have 2 minutes to do that. Just reach out to other people on social media. You can post it on your status, on your story, anywhere, so you get more audience. Okay, just 2 minutes. Thank you. Okay. Put on your camera so we can take a screenshot. Uh, Turn on your cameras, please, everyone. Rina, Joel, Shima, everyone, please. Okay. Okay, we're good to go. So I'll be calling the next speaker to take us on the next topic, that's innovating with Azure. by Winner Emeto. Okay, welcome, Winner. Please let's get on with your section. Thank you very much.
All right. Thank you. And can you help me confirm if you can see my screen?
Not yet. I can't.
Okay. Hold on a bit. How about now?
Joy, can you see his screen? I can't see your screen. Okay, it's coming on now. It's coming on. Yes, it's here. I can see your screen now. Go on. Thank you.
Okay. Um, good morning, everyone. Good afternoon, good evening, depending on the time zone you are joining on. My name is Win Emeto. The solution area specialist lead for Microsoft, covering accounts within some of the African countries we have. I'll be talking after the section. I know that most of us now, being audacious, we are thinking of ideas, creative things we could do, creative things we could build. And I'm here to talk about how you could leverage some resources that are there. You don't need to reinvent the wheel to be able to kickstart in whatever initiative that you want to push out there, be it a business idea, be it a startup, be it just an idea that is just going through your mind, right? You don't need to be a techie to have an idea. You don't need to actually know how to code to be able to build out an idea. Once you have that idea, you've been able and you're able to like articulate it and organize it in a way that people will see visibility of what you want to build and then support you on that. So first, I want to know. I don't have my second screen, so I can see the reactions and the comments on the meeting because I'm currently presenting my screen. So feel free to cut me anytime to ask a question or clarification or anything. And also, I'll be needing your help, Joy, in case if there is any comment in the chat section so that you can call my attention to that. I'll be speaking to us on the Founders Hub. Um, I wish my second screen is on. I wanted to ask if how many of us here have heard of the Founders Hub? Anyone at all? And how many of us here have an idea that you want to work on? A business idea, a tech idea, whatever idea it is that you've been trying to work on, or but you have been limited because of capacity, because of resources, and all that.
Yes.
Okay, okay, nice. So today I'll be taking us through the Founders Hub. This is an initiative that is open to anyone at all, be it a designer, be it a product manager, be it a technical person. As far as you have an idea in your mind and something that you want to build, and you know this is an idea that is actually going to solve a problem, a specific problem, be it within your community or within the society as a whole. This is designed to support all founders and all idea of any kind. At the end of this session, I'll be sharing a link where you can actually sign up or register to benefit from this. So what does it mean for you just having an idea? So what Microsoft has done is to build a platform that will support you, right? In the idea stage, you can gain up to $1,000 in Azure credit to be able to spin off any resource or any asset on Azure. And as we know today, Azure is a cloud platform that gives you resources from compute to serverless solutions and workload to be able to accommodate whatever you are building out there. So be it you are still at the idealization stage, you are still articulating, you are still like thinking around what you want to build. So you don't really need to have a startup, right? You don't really need to have a team, a group of people. You don't need to have something set up already. But just having that idea of what you want to work on, or you've already developed an idea, or you're already growing, or you're already at a scale, you're already a startup. So no matter the level you are, Microsoft has developed a platform that will help you. This was actually launched last month, so it's new. And I wanted to bring this to our notice so that we could start leveraging it. I know most of us here are doing things in silos. I know most of us are building out things, but have been limited by resources and resources in terms of cash, financial flows, and all that. But I want us to start leveraging this particular initiative to build our solutions. That idea, Jackson said, be audacious, right? I want us to go out today and think of that. What can you contribute to the society? What ideas you have in your mind that you think, uh, if you have the right resources, the right backup, this could be something that will be solving a problem out there, right? Think of it, articulate it, and come back to this platform. And I believe you me, you have all the support and all the resources. So looking backward, you will know that most of the challenges and most of the issues that we face whenever we want to build out something by ourselves, or whenever we have an idea that we want to push out there. Issues and challenges ranging from infrastructure to set up that particular idea, a lack of agility because you are limited by what you have, even in terms of longer release cycles, because you are building in isolation, you are building solutions in silos and all that. These are common challenges that once this kind of resources that I'm presenting to us today help us to eliminate. So today, if you look at Microsoft Azure, which is one of the backbone solution that this initiative is bringing to us, right? Regardless of the workload that you are building, be it a normal application, a mobile application, a .NET application, Java, or you just want to spin up a VM. For most of us that are in the data science and machine learning field, or Windows servers or Linux, to host your models because you need high compute for your resources, for your workload, or for whatever you are building. These can all be leveraged on Azure free of charge, right? And regardless of the level you are, so if you already have a startup or an application that you have already built, right, and you are now wondering, okay, how do I take all this now and leverage this particular initiative or this particular service that is being presented to me today. There is a data migration assistant. There is also an application migration assistant provided for you in case if you already have a built solution or a service that is currently running on a particular infrastructure, and you are worried about how you are going to migrate so that you will start leveraging on no cost to do what? Innovate and build a solution that actually solves problem. So the question now is why leverage this initiative, or why leverage this service, right? We know where the world is going to now. COVID-19 has revolutionized the whole tech industry, the way we do things, the way we think, even the way companies out there ship out solutions and products, right? Everything is going to the cloud, right? And if you want to stay competitive, if you want to stay relevant, you should be building solutions on the cloud also, right? Because in the nearest future, we'll be talking purely cloud and Web3, right? So how do you make sure that you, from the start, right, is building out solutions and shipping out products that are competitive, that are future-proof, and will remain relevant to whoever you are building out that value for, your end, sorry, your end consumers or the customers that you are targeting that are going to consume that services. So on the cloud, you could leverage the services and the workload provided to you in terms of leveraging technologies like microservices, DevOps, APIs functions, for hosting your script and triggers and containers to build out and bundle your microservices, right? But now, what does this whole technology, this whole resources, what does it entails for you as someone that have an idea, or for you as someone that is that have a startup that you want to build on, or you already have a startup that you are currently working on? Most times we face challenges. Basically, about 75% of the startups today, their number one challenge is technical uh, capacity, right? They don't have that technical capacity to be able to build out that solution that they are working on, or that idea. You have an idea, but you don't have the technicality to be able to ship out or build out that product. This initiative also supports you with a one-on-one technical advisory sessions and a 24/7 technical assistance to help you overcome your blockers, yeah, and help you build out your solution. So you don't really need to be technical, right, to be able to leverage the service that is being provided for you today. Another challenge you could have is also knowing what is happening in the business world, or knowing what others are doing, so that you could leverage on their success story. You don't need to reinvent, as I said earlier. You also need to stay updated, right? You need to look at people's mistake, right? So that you will be able to do what? Avoid such mistake when you are building out your solution. So this service also provides you with a networking platform where you are able to do what? Connect with a Microsoft mentor that gives you feedback on how you are doing, advise you on your product roadmap, business plan, and also beyond that. This service also provides you with a personalized training and content. Let's say, for example, now you have a solution that you want to build out, you want to ship out, and you've identified those specific knowledge gap that you have, which is preventing you from building out that solution, or which is preventing you from making your idea life, right? This platform provides you with that help, or those resources to be able to do what? Equip yourself, or get skilled in that particular knowledge gap that you're having, which is preventing you from shipping out your your product. So it has tailored learning paths and contents and events designed to help you progress to the next stage of your business, of your idea, or whatever you are trying to build out. So the question is, how ready are you to start doing business, right? Most times, I know that we are all at a stage where we are learning a particular skill, but as Jackson also said, you also need to look into the future. What can you do in the next 20 to 30 years? Where do you want to see yourself, right? And this is the time that you start to like project yourself, you start to like plan yourself, you start to like put things down. And most of the time, for you to be fully financially free, is either you are in the C-suite, as Jackson mentioned, or you already have your own business that you are running, right? So start thinking business, right? Start thinking business. So just a 360 view of what you get offered once you sign up and you pass through the application process, right? You have the Microsoft Teams, MS365, GitHub, Visual Studio, Microsoft Dynamics for your handling your customers, and if in case if you start having customers and all that, you have the Microsoft product portfolio backing you full time on this. So yeah, thank you. This is what I just wanted to share with us on how you can start innovating with Microsoft Azure free of charge. Thank you very much. If you have any question, please ask or drop in the chat.
Thank you, Vina, for that, for your session. That was beautiful and bringing us to the notice or knowledge of innovating with Azure to for some of us. I know almost everybody here have brilliant ideas of something they would want to work on. To it's a good opportunity to leverage on this new innovation by Microsoft. Yeah, please you can share the link, okay?
Yeah, let me drop it in the chat window now. And also, if you have any question, uh, also feel free to reach out to me.
Yeah, but you can drop your questions too on the comment section, please, so you can easily attend to your questions.
Yeah, I'm Win Emeto anywhere. So just Win Emeto and you'll be able to connect with me anywhere.
Okay. Thank you, Rina. So we'll be calling the next speaker, that's Temitope Akintola, and she'll be speaking on joining tech from zero tech background. So if you wanna, for those of us who don't have any background at all, you just want to join the tech industry, just be whether in non-tech, non-coding person or the coding the actual coders or writing codes. So Temitope will be taking us on that. If you're ready, please, Temitope.
Okay, yeah, I'm here. Thank you very much. First of all, I want to apologize because my background is a little noisy and I might not be able to share my screen. So I hope you can hear me clearly, please.
Yes, yes.
Can you hear me? Okay,
Yes,
thank you very much. Okay, so hello everyone. My name is Temitope Akintola, and I am a software engineer at Teamaps Limited. So I'm just going to give a bit background about how I joined Tech and also like give my pointers as to how you could also join Tech if you're interested. I'm currently working the same place I started off my career. I started off working at Teamaps as a customer service representative. Actually, when I started, I was making out calls to people. And over the time, I grew in the role and I realized that, well, there was no more I was learning from the role. And instead, I wanted to keep learning. COVID came and I was seeing the tech guys at the company. Most of the time when I had issues, I would have to escalate to them. And I also hated the fact that people had to solve my issue and they were mostly delaying my work. So I reached out to someone at the office and then I was like, oh, how could I do this? And all those things. And I also saw an application online about Decagon. So thankfully they gave me some resources that I could read and I started with HTML and I felt like I was doing magic, adding an image button and everything. So that way I actually started learning and all, and thankfully I've been able to progress and I'm actually back at my office working as a software engineer. So first of all, before anyone could go into tech, I would advise that the first thing you should do is to do your research. Find out how you could go about this. Find out what exactly you're interested in. Do you want to be a gamer? Do you want to be a front-end developer? Do you want to go into back-end? Honestly saying, when I actually started off, I didn't know the difference between front-end and back-end. I thought like, okay, you know how sometimes you have applications like, let's say for example we have Junior, so I assume, well, the part that the customer uses is the back, is the front end, and like so the admin point has to be the back end. That was literally what I thought. I mean, I thought I did my research enough, but then I didn't know the difference. So I mean, there are a whole lot of things you could do. You could be a tester, you could be an Android engineer, you could go into iOS. So I think the very first thing to do is to actually like do your research about, okay, is this thing for me? What exactly am I interested in? Is this something I see myself doing? Another thing is to also, after doing your research, I think it's also very important to look at the kind of market available for that. If it is something, if it is a kind of place you'd want to work in. Personally, I find fintechs interesting. I've always wanted to work with like a financial institution. I mean, that was where I started, and then I actually kind of like it, and in somewhere I'll keep working. So for me, I came into Decagon and then I learned Java. So Java is very good for enterprise. So yeah, that was good for me to learn. Another thing I would advise is after doing your research is not just start off buying courses on Udemy. No, sometimes that could actually like cost you a whole lot of money. I'm not going to say don't buy courses. I would advise you to buy courses eventually, but it's always good to start off using YouTube to learn. I mean, you find a lot of good YouTubers online that give you like introductory courses into this thing. Yes, YouTube is comprehensive and all, but then like you find yourself that if you cannot sustain a YouTube, watching a YouTube video, if you try 3, 4 YouTube videos, and I just think that if you cannot see yourself sitting through all those videos, then it just makes you think, well, what if I have actually wasted my money? Yeah, someday you can come back to that. But then I think it's always very important that first of all you try to use like free resources online. YouTube is just one. You could also make good use of free code camp. There's also solo learn and there's also code academy amongst others. You could also go on Medium and just like watch read posts online about like just these things. So a good way to start is actually like most people recommend Python. Personally, I think HTML and CSS is a good way to also start because by then you could see what you're doing on the web and then you think, yeah, this is interesting. I'd like to keep doing this. You start seeing websites and then you're like, oh my god, this is what they use here, this is what they use there. And then I think it gives you a set mindset of yeah, I'm actually learning something and then like I can see it here, especially if you even decide to like inspect the web page and then you can see that yeah what you're learning is actually what is there. It's a good way to make you feel like you're doing something. So after that, yeah, you should start off on YouTube. After starting off on YouTube, then I can advise you to like go on Udemy. So definitely this won't work for everyone. I mean, going from zero background, there are two ways you can actually go about it. I mean, already you do not have a university degree in software engineering, that's computer science or related fields. So I mean, what are the other ways you could go about this? If you're very good at self-learning, I think you actually do deserve a medal for that because it's definitely not easy. You could either be a self-learner or you could actually go to a boot camp. So the downside, I'm going to give you the benefits and disadvantages of both. Self-learning is actually probably the cheapest way to go about it. You know, you're on your journey alone. Nobody is forcing you. You do not have deadlines. And also, you could most definitely do this alongside your side work and then like just know that yeah, you're using the nights to learn, especially if you're working remotely. I was working remotely and there was COVID around the time that I thought I started learning. Yeah, emphasis on thoughts, sorry. Then the downside to it also is sometimes you could have blockers and then you just feel like you don't know anything and it could make you feel so burnt out and then you could think, oh my god, I'm just going to give up, this thing is probably not meant for me. So in case you're going through this self-learning process, I would advise you have a mentor or people in such related fields that are in higher position that could actually help you when you have blockers. For me, it was people at my office. I had like a few friends that I was comfortable with. I know going through the self-learning process, you could feel like you're alone looking at my job where I wasn't learning anymore, and I knew that I wasn't going to get promoted because like there were two people ahead of me, and those were the people with the highest roles in the department. So it was either I was being moved out of that department to another department, or I wasn't going at all. So I was like, well, I don't think this job is making me any much money anymore. So I quit my job at that time, and then I went to get on to study. So boot camps, every process, there are going to be moments where you feel like you don't know anything. I think most of the challenges that I feel like we all go through going into tech is the fact that you would most of the time often compare yourself to other people, which I mean, you're not on the same learning path with people. I know people that have been on this journey for like 3 years. And honestly, I wrote my first Java code October last year. I learned how to like declare variables in Java just October last year. And then, I mean, there were people there who had been doing this since like they were in university. There were people there that were already studying computer science. So, I mean, we're all on different paths. So it's not always good to like compare yourself to other people and look at it as like a negative way. Yeah, comparison is good sometimes, but only if you're looking at it in a positive light. It's like, oh my god, well, this person built like an e-commerce website. I have to do the same thing. Like if you can do it, then I can do it. Then that is the kind of mindset I think that we should like channel our competitions into. Not into, oh my god, this person did this, we're in the same stage and I can't do this. Nah, I'm giving up. No, that's not the kind of competition that is healthy. I think I also suffered from the negative kind. Another important thing that I feel like we all deal with, and I'm still battling with, is imposter syndrome. And I'm going to say thank you again to you guys for like bringing someone here to talk about imposter syndrome, because I also think that I would really benefit from that because it's something we all deal with. So yeah, those are two major things that I think we all deal with, and then somebody is going to help us explain how to handle our imposter syndrome. But definitely for this, in terms of competition, I think it's always good for us to try to like channel it the right way, because trust me, whatever that person did, you can do it too. It took that person a short time. No matter how long it takes you, at the end of the day, the point is that you're going to get there. I'm getting there. I don't think I'm where I want to yet, but I know that, yeah, eventually I'll get there. There are people that are better than me. I'm pretty sure I'm better than people also. But the most important part is I'm looking back at myself now. And like about a year ago, I was learning HTML. About a few months ago, I started learning Java. And now I'm into working for an actual fintech. I think that personally, I have really grown personally because like I couldn't have done this just like anyhow. So yes, if I'm comparing myself to anyone, I think the person I should be comparing myself to is Timmy of like a few months back. And I also try to set goals for myself. So yeah, important things I think we should try to do if you're trying to like move into tech is, first of all, try to set goals for yourself. Yeah, it might not be easy. The path might be difficult sometimes, but like, yeah, try to give yourself time. I don't think it's not about being lazy, because like very soon, if you actually do want to work on this thing, you're going to have sprints, and then you'll be given tasks that you have to fulfill within the sprint. And you can't say no, you can't do this. You're going to have to learn new technologies on the job. So I think a very good way to start, first of all, is to give yourself goals. Set goals aside for yourself and be like, yeah, within this time frame, this is what I want to accomplish. I should be able to do this then. I should be able to know this then. Apart from that, going into tech, another way, I think the best way to learn is actually project-based learning. Don't just read, okay, this is a div, HTML is this, Java is that, encapsulation is this is an object-oriented program. No, you should go on Google beginner friendly project for like whatever you're starting to learn, and like actually start building things. You will get stuck along the way. You will definitely get stuck. You will run into exceptions. Stack Overflow is always there to help us, and we also have people there that are always available to assist us. So yeah, project-based learning is one of the best ways to learn. I think another way to go about, I think another important thing to do is have someone there that always guides you, someone you look up to in the tech space. Yeah, have someone both technically in the tech space, like a non-technical background and a technical background, someone you can talk to that inspires you and always makes you like feel like, yeah, you want to keep going forward in this thing. I think it's also very important. For me, there's this person online that I look up to. She codes, but like now she's in tech sales, and I think she works for a Microsoft, and I think she does really amazing stuff. And I think she inspired me a lot. And then like, yeah, that was one thing for me. Another thing I would advise is like make yourself known, join communities out there, reach out to people. I mean, there are different group chats and spaces you could join just here in Nigeria. I mean, sometimes you might feel like you do not know these communities, but like Twitter is there. Follow notable people on Instagram that you think that, yeah, this is what I would like to learn. I mean, it's not just about connecting. You could learn things from them. People could also learn from you. So yeah, I think you should do that. LinkedIn is also a good space to like make yourself known. So I think once in a while, just like try to make a post. It doesn't have to be a lot. Another thing I would advise is you should definitely do the 100 days of coding. Today could just be solving a simple algorithm. Within the next 100 days, you could be doing something big, and you could also be inspiring someone else to actually do that. And lastly, I think it's always very important to like put up your work, push your work to GitHub, because then when you want to start applying for jobs, it's a reference for like employers or like recruiters to check to see that, okay, yeah, this person has done this and this person can do that. And then definitely, I think if you go through these steps and many more out there, you're definitely bound to grow. So thank you. That is that for me. I hope if you're trying to take this journey, you take the leap and then go into it, and then you actually learn to live your dream and dream wider than your dream and actually live it. Thank you so much. If you have any questions, you can leave it on the chat box. And again, I apologize for not showing my face, not having a presentation and my noisy background. Thank you so much.
Thank you, Temitope, for your wonderful presentation. That was amazing. For our new techies or aspirants, yes. So, like she said, it's going to be tough. It's going to be challenging at some point. So, but with time, you just have to have the right community or right person to reach out to whenever you have a blocker, someone to help you, because doing all that on your own might be it's going to be challenging for you. So especially when you're very new to tech and you don't know how to go about your whole challenges and blockers that you have. So it's very important to have join a community, have someone you reach out to, helps you unblock you anytime you're stuck on a particular um, blocker or a problem. So because that can be a very huge um, discouragement at some point when you meet that particular blocker that you can't solve, you can't resolve, you don't even know how to wrap your head around it, it's going to be very difficult for you to move past that because you can go further if you're having a problem. So you need someone there that supports you. So that's why it is very important to have someone, have a mentor or a community that helps you, that that you can share your ideas, you can share your problem, and you have someone there to help you answer or attend to any problem that you have at a particular time. Thank you very much, Temitope, for that beautiful section. Okay, so I'll be calling on the next speaker to take us on the imposter syndrome. Yes, the imposter syndrome that we all have been waiting for. So by Nkechi Metu. So she'll be taking us on the imposter syndrome. Nkechi, if you're ready.
Hello, good afternoon, ladies and gentlemen. Okay, by the way, little correction. My name is Amara Metu. So, I'm a front-end web developer, and my stacks are HTML, CSS,
Oh,
JavaScript.
sorry about that, Amara.
Okay.
But on the website, okay, that's what was written there. Sorry. Okay, go on.
And React. So, I'll be speaking on imposter syndrome. So, I want to know when my screen comes up. Okay, can you see my screen?
Yes, yes, we can see your screen right now.
Okay,
Yes.
okay. So I like to introduce myself. I'm Arametu, and I'll be speaking on imposter syndrome. So our agenda today is, first of all, I'm welcoming everybody, the organizers, the host of this event, for this great opportunity and privilege to share and to learn, and also want to compliment the other speakers who had already spoken. I have actually learned a lot from how to document my ideas, how to be audacious, and those who are joining the tech industry, how I'll advise them. So over to my agenda, I'll be introducing, I'll be telling you about the triggers of imposter syndrome, and I'll also be giving you the tactics on how to manage it productive, how to make it productive for your journey. So let's start by defining what imposter syndrome is. Imposter syndrome is a feeling of self-doubt, insecurity, or fraudulence despite having overwhelming evidence to the contrary. In the sense that you know you're doing well, you're working hard enough, you're networking enough, you are doing so well for yourself, but you still have that feeling that you're not enough. You feel that you are, it's just by is by mere luck, sheer luck, or it just somehow happens to be that you're where you are. Imposter syndrome, or doubting your abilities and feeling like a fraud at work, is a diagnosis often given to women. And why it is so, it is because of the fact that women, we have this bias. For example, in the tech industry, it is actually male dominated. And you try to come up and say, I'm going to do the hard things, I'm going to change that narrative, I'm going to do this and that. It actually brings, you actually look like, where is this one coming from? Your gender, they don't do that. So it ranges too. The males are not left out too, but what helps them is that you have actually seen a lot of them ahead of them do a lot of mind-blowing things and crazy things. So they're actually motivated to say, if this male can do this, I fit do am. But in the female, thank God that we are coming up daily. So a sneak peek, the science behind imposter syndrome. Most people who experience the imposter phenomenon will not say, I feel like an imposter. But yet when we read or hear about the experience, they say, how did you know? How did you know exactly how I feel? And how do they feel? Even though they are often very successful by external standards, they feel their successes has been due to some mysterious fluke or luck or great effort. They are afraid their achievements are due to breaks and not the result of their own ability and competence, by Dr. Pauline R. Klein. So we can see, like I first explained, that you don't believe that you are actually competent for some roles. You don't believe that you're actually competent for some jobs. Like you're getting into the tech industry, you know you have learned the basic skills that could land you a job, but you just feel that I'm not enough. I'm not enough. If you just have this fraudulent, you feel like a fraudster. So with a little definitions that I've given, a little explanation. So I just want to do a little survey on the comment section. The first question is, do you experience imposter syndrome? With a little definition I've given, you either choose yes, sometimes no, don't know often about imposter syndrome to say, then other. Then the second question is, does it affect your professional life? Does it a lot, a bit, no, or you don't know? So feel free on the comment section to give your various answers. So now we'll be moving into some quick pictorial explanations. So we can see this is like a tripartite conversation. He's like, this is Dr. Adams. She's a social worker, psychologist, and the world's top expert on imposter syndrome. And then the Dr. Adams they're talking about, she's like, haha, don't be silly. There are a lot of scholars who have made more significant. Oh my God, like she does, she's telling us she's actually the person, an expert on this, but she's still dealing with it because she feels that, well, let her not just take all the accolades. Let's just shift to somewhere else. So we're moving on to
Sorry,
great men that actually
life, but not on
okay, moving on to some great people who actually experience this. Someone like Albert Einstein, who would think that despite all his achievements, will feel like he shouldn't have such a feeling. But towards the end of his life, you can see that he made a statement to his friend: the exaggerated esteem in which my life work is held makes me very ill at ease. He feels compelled to think of himself as an involuntary swindler. So despite everything that he achieved, he actually had that feeling of people are actually overhyping me. I'm not just it. Oh. And then moving over to Kate Winslet, she's actually an English actress. She's worth over $65 million. She said, sometimes I wake up in the morning before going off to a shoot and I think I can't do this, I'm a fraud. And I'm like, somebody with that amount in the bank and somebody, a celebrity that people would die to see, it's actually something very, very common. And then moving over to Maya, she's a poet, she's a writer. Although she's late, she said, I have written 11 books, but each time I think, oh, they're going to find out now. I have run a game on everybody and they're going to find me out. So she also had that feeling of being a fraudster. And this is Sheryl Sandberg, the chief operating officer at Facebook. She said, I'm about to embarrass myself. Every time I was called on in class, I was sure that I was about to embarrass myself. Every time I took a test, I was sure that it had already gone badly. And every time I didn't embarrass myself or often excelled, I believed that I had fooled everyone yet again. One day soon, the jig will be up. So she feels that she's a fraudster, and then one day somebody's just gonna come out and say, you're a fraudster. You don't actually meet the demands of what you say, and embarrass her. So this is Margaret Chan, the Director General, World Health Organization from 2006 to 2017. She said, there are an awful lot of people out there who think I'm an expert. How do these people believe all this about me? I'm so much aware of all this, of all the things I don't know. So she feels that the things she knows, they don't outweigh the knowledge she doesn't know. So she feels that the knowledge she doesn't have actually outweighs the knowledge she has. So these are the possible thoughts you could have when you have imposter syndrome. You just feel, I'm just lucky, I'm a fraud, I don't deserve it, I'll get found out, I'm never good enough, they'll all know I'm fake, it's not perfect, others are better. So you have this feeling that others do better, even when you're putting in effort, and sometimes you can be ahead. You can even be ahead. Virtually everybody knows. You can actually be on the first class. You can actually be a top software engineer, and you are still battling with it. So this is Tina Fey. She's also an actress. She said the beauty of the imposter syndrome is being able to vacillate between the extreme egonomia and a complete feeling of, oh, I'm a fraud. Oh God, they are onto me, I'm a fraud. So the question is, who has imposter syndrome? A study conducted showed that the people who have to learn new concepts, sorry about that, breaking a bias, actually go through this. Why? So for some people, imposter syndrome can fuel feelings of motivations to achieve. This usually comes at a cost in the form of constant anxiety. You might overprepare or work much harder than necessary to make sure that nobody finds out that you're a fraud. So, for example, you're given a task to do, or you have something to accomplish, and then you find out that you overwork yourself, you stress yourself, you put all the pressure, all the anxiety to try to get things done. The problem with imposter syndrome is that the experience of doing well at something does nothing to change your beliefs. So irrespective of how hard you work, how smart you work, how well you work, it can't change. All those things can change your belief. Even though you might sail through a performance or have lunch with co-workers, the thought still nags in your head. What gives me the right to be here? The more you accomplish, the more you just feel like a fraud. It's as though you can't internalize your experiences of success. So it's irrespective of how where you are or what you've achieved. So someone can work with Google and tell you that he doesn't feel like he's a fraud, he feels like a fraudster, and maybe feels that he'll get caught one day. So now, what are the cons of having imposter syndrome? It makes you miserable. Like sometimes, for example, we have big events, tech events, where we should go to. We have supposed to go there, network, laugh, relax, have some time off with colleagues and people who do the same thing with you. But when you go there, instead of actually enjoying the moment, you go there and begin to compare yourself. This person is working with this company. Oh, this company is better than mine. Oh, this person knows more than me. This and that, and a lot of things keep coming in. So you just feel miserable. You can even turn into a sadist. You won't even try to enjoy actually the moment. Then inhibits your aspirations. What you aspire to do is going to actually cramp down on it, because instead of actually working hard, you feel, oh, this is my aspiration, this thing will never ever work. Even when you get there, you feel empty. You feel, this thing self, did I even actually work for it? There was one lady who told me one at a certain time, she actually applied for something and she actually came second position in the entire Nigeria. And she said that when she was called up to collect her award and all that, she was feeling, how did I get here? Did the organizers do it because they know me? And whereas she has never met anybody there or anything at all. So it also makes you undersell yourself when you're applying for jobs, when you go for interviews. Instead of speaking, being confident on what you know, and then trying, especially when you're agreeing on your salary, what you take, you underpay yourself. If you're doing freelance jobs, when people come and tell you, try to underprice you, you will never be able to speak up because you feel, let me just manage this one. These people who call me. Let's just manage this one. And introduces others' view of your capability, because when you're not able to speak for yourself, when you're not able to show yourself, you're not exuding the confidence you're supposed to exude, it actually reduces how others view you. And then when obviously when you will not be able to speak when you're in meetings, you're in tea, you're having a breakfast and all that with your fellow colleagues, where your innovation would have actually kickstarted something beautiful. You won't be able to talk. Then you reduce your influence on outcomes, in essence, because you cannot speak, and then your opportunity to find things out, because you don't want, oh please, the one I even know, I'm not even sure. Please, let's not just venture there. And then you have fewer opportunities for your career advancement and new experiences. So now, what does it do to the community around you? They lose the benefit of the input of some of the best people, because most of these people, the best people actually at the back. They don't want the limelight. It actually kills the community. People that are supposed to be teaching, mentoring others, and then it's going to lead that women's voices, you will not hear women's voices as much as men. And then it also leaves the field open to Dunning-Kruger people. These people, they feel that they are this people is actually the opposite of imposter syndrome. They overestimate themselves. They know actually within themselves, but they know that they don't know, but they feel they choose and feel that they know, and they want to make others believe that they know. So these people now, from the graph, you can see on the screen that the people on the Dunning-Kruger effect and then the imposter syndrome, these people just want to, I beg, and those people are actually the people that have the actual ability, while the others is perceived, people feel. We have about 5 types of imposter syndrome, which I'll be headed to talk about. The perfectionist. These people focus primarily on how you do things. They often to the point where you demand perfection of yourself in every aspect of your life, which is not feasible. Yet, since perfection is not always a realistic goal, like I said, you can't meet this standard.
Hello, can we all hear her?
No,
Amara,
No, I can't.
Marcy, please, we lost you there.
No,
Is she
no,
still here? I think she's having issues with her network. Her internet is probably kicking her off.
Sorry, I heard that was on point.
Amara,
Yeah.
we can't hear you. Yeah.
Okay. Yeah. Okay. Okay. Sorry. So please, can you remind me where did you stop hearing me? Hello. Hello.
I think we stopped at the perfectionist.
Okay, the perfectionist. Okay. Okay, the perfectionists, like I explained, these are a set of people who are never happy with their work despite putting in so much hard work, and they're actually fixated on their flaws instead of their strengths. So they keep picking mistakes. You see, some people, they can enter an environment and people have been working hard, and that thing actually affects the way you see others and how you see other people's job. You enter a beautiful place, you say, oh, this lazy decoration is very beautiful, and you should be appreciative of that. But instead, you begin to find, why is the ribbon like this? Why are the chairs like this? And on. So the natural journey, over to the natural journey, you spend your life picking up new skills with little effort and believe you should understand new material and processes right away. Your belief that competent people can handle anything with little difficulty leads you to feel like a fraud when you have a hard time. If something doesn't come easily to you, or you fail to succeed on your first try, you might feel ashamed and embarrassed. For example, for people that had good results, primary school, secondary school, and then when you enter college, university, and then it shows you, you see some funny things. And then you now begin to doubt yourself. You feel it's actually easy. It's actually easy. It's actually easy. Everything should come easy and all and all and all. But you find out that you're actually slacking in that. Learning is a continuous process because it happened for you in primary school, secondary school. Learning has to be a continuous process. Because I noticed that people, oh, my screen, I was not even sharing it. Okay. So the rugged individualist or socialist, these are people that prefer to work alone so that they won't ask for help or fear of appearing incompetent. These people, they don't want to appear incompetent, so they prefer to work alone. Then the experts, they're never satisfied with their level of understanding. They're always trying to learn more. The superhero, they overwork themselves to make up for how inadequate they feel. So these are the various characteristics of imposter syndrome. They include you overachieving, self-doubt, sabotaging your own success, setting very challenging goals, and feeling disappointed when you fall short. Like our second speaker said, she sets goals for herself every year, but it's not all that she may tend to achieve at the end of the day. Attributing your success to external factors and an inability to realistically assess your competence and skills. So the triggers, parenting and childhood environment. You may develop imposter feelings if your parent, for example, you are pressured to do well in school. You're always pressured to do well in school. Oh, be make sure you come first, come first, come first. If you not come first, this one, I'll not pay your school fees and all that. You are always being compared to your siblings. You are controlling over protective. You always emphasize on your natural intelligence and you sharply criticize mistakes. Then the personality trait, this has to do with people that have the perfectionist tendencies, your high scores on measures of neuroticism, and then low scores on measures of conscious of your conscience. So low self-efficacy or confidence, your ability to manage your behavior and successfully handle your responsibilities. So mental conditions, people that have mental health symptoms. So, and then new responsibilities when you're giving new roles, these are all triggers. Then the role of bias, which has to do with a field where you're trying to break into, for example, a female, you're trying to break into somewhere that is male dominated, is actually what triggers it. Then how to deal with it. Working harder will not solve the problem, but these strategies will help you to resolve imposter productively, like to use it productively. If I would say, you acknowledge your feelings, you acknowledge it, you don't deny it, acknowledge that, oh, these feelings are actually there. Then build connections. When you're learning, don't just say I will do it on my own. Build networks. For the females, there are a lot of communities that are coming up that are actually helping and building, like the Women Techmakers in Techmakers Nigeria. We have the She Code, we have the Web3 ladies. There are a lot of communities which me have richly benefited from. So build connection, network, get a mentor, have a learning. Hello.
Please, can you round up, please? Thank you very much.
Okay. Avoid comparing yourself to others. Learn to appreciate one another. Then be gritty. Have passion and perseverance for your long-term goals. Have a growth mindset. Don't depend on your natural intelligence. Have a growth mindset. Don't depend on it. Learn to learn. And having the power of yet, because you don't know something today, tomorrow is another opportunity for you to learn. And the bottom line of everything I'm saying is that success doesn't require perfection. True perfection is practically impossible. So failing to achieve doesn't make you a fraud. Offering yourself kindness and compassion instead of judgment and self-doubt can help you maintain a realistic perspective and motivate you to pursue healthy self-growth. Thank you so much. So thank you everybody for listening to me. So any questions?
Thank you, Amarachi. Please, if you have any question, please, you can feel free to ask her right now. So, for me, I would ask you, how were you? Have you ever experienced this imposter syndrome, and how were you able to overcome that?
Okay, my question. Thank you very much for that question. I can tell you that when I was preparing these slides for this event, I was actually having that feeling. So this is something current. But what I told myself is that I'm going to talk about this because I know a lot of ladies actually going through and have this feeling for some time to time. I'm like, when I actually read the profiles of co-speakers and how far they have gone, I was like, wow, this person is with Microsoft, this person is with Decagon and all that. So I actually had a feeling that I shouldn't be there and all that. But I told myself that I was going to speak, and I didn't let that deter me, and I said, oh, I'm not going there. Let me tell them I'm not talking again. It actually pushed me. I used it as a motivation. I said I'm going to talk to others because the other people are actually coming up like me. So I saw it as a challenge, a good competition to actually be. And then I'm here. I've spoken. And I'm happy about that.
Yes, you have. You've spoken well. Thank you very much for your beautiful session. Um, please, if you have any other question, anybody, please, you can ask Amarachi. I'm sure she would want to answer. Okay, Amara, from the comment section, someone said you should share your presentation.
Okay. Okay. So uh, which part of my presentation does the person want to see?
No, not here. You can share it with her personally or something. Yeah.
Okay. So that's okay. You can connect with me on Twitter. I'm very much active there at Metunechey. METUNECHEY.
Okay, it's on the
So
comment section, so you can just go there. Jessica, you can go there and just check, just connect with her and, ask your questions or get the slides from there. Thank you very much, Amachi. And it is the game time. Okay. So we have prizes to be won. You can stop sharing, Amachi. Yeah. So we have cash prize. Yeah. So I'll be leaving this game session for Cynthia Ngozi. Cynthia, are you here? Oh, she's my namesake. Cynthia Ngozi, you're
Yeah,
taking
I'm
over the
here.
game
I'm
session.
here.
Yeah.
Good
Okay, what's
afternoon.
the game about? We want to know, play this game. Let's just tell us.
Um, okay, the game is supposed to be about what we did today. It's, it's just a question answer game. But I think I'm having an issue with Kahoot. Like, it's not saving all my questions
I can't
to
hear
like
you.
all of them. It's not saving all
Your
of them
internet is
to
breaking.
the main. It's just saving them to drafts. So, but I think I did something already. Let me look my computer. Can you hear me now? Hello?
Better, yeah, it's better now.
Okay. My piece is dead now, so I would love to use the help of Miss Joy. Miss Joy, please can you share the pin here? Okay, let me see if I can share. We need to visit the site kaho.it to be able to play the game. Hello.
Okay, we're supposed to log into this website, right?
Yes. Use the pin.
Okay. The game pin. In this game.
I'm trying to join and it says I'm disconnected.
Okay. I think they generated another pin. So please join with hello?
Yeah, I can hear you.
They generated another pin. Let me send this one.
All right.
Okay. Join with this one. It should be 10 questions, but I don't know what's happening. Like the rest of the questions are saving to draft, so I think it's about 6 now. Okay, what's the pin for? The pin for when you log in when you visit the website kaho.it, you'll see just a field that says enter your pin. You just enter this pin that I sent, or the last pin that I sent. Yeah, I can hear you. No. Let me see if I can share my phone. Okay, Lola is here. Visit kaho.it on your browser. Let me see if I can share my phone screen then. My PC. Okay. We have to start it. Okay. 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 Yeah, I'm doing that right now. Is anyone seeing my screen?
Yes.
Yeah, join at www.kaho.it. Then enter the game pin. Each question is 20 seconds. Wow. Mhm.
Cynthia, are we supposed to see the question? Like after logging in and putting your nickname?
Yeah, that's when I started.
Uh, Showing me you are in, so that's the distance supposed to see, ba? All right.
So can we start it now or more people are joining? Okay. But you should be participating because I think most of the or some of the question has you there. So if you win it, we go cancel one. Can we start now? Someone's still. And people are leaving. Okay. Okay, we're starting in 1, 2, 3. What is the name of this IWD event host? Hopefully, you all can see the question. This question should be 10, but I don't know. I had other interesting questions from other topics.
So, right now, that's the question.
I lost everything. I can't see the questions. I can't see your screen.
Okay, so the first. What you need to do is just to select the correct answer. Just click on the one that you feel is correct. That's all. Hello, can you just click on the answer that you feel is correct? That's all.
I'm trying to join, but I'm trying to rejoin, but
We
it tells
started.
me the nickname has.
We started already. We can't join now. I don't think that.
I will just be responding on the chat box. I will be responding on the chat box.
Can we continue, please? Okay. We are done with the first question. So the next one.
Can you repeat the question?
No.
Oh,
So
okay.
constellation is at the top. After constellation, we have next. Wait, wow. Okay, next question. What is the full meaning of WTM? 20 seconds.
Okay.
The full meaning of WTM. 1, 0. Okay, so the full meaning of WTM is women techmakers. So if you choose women techmakers, you're correct. So yeah, let's move on to the next question.
It as well.
We still have constellation at the top. After constellation, we have T. Then okay. What does the WTM program provide for women in technology? Hope you
You
can
can't
see my
see the
screen.
options if you're in the browser. We only see some boxes.
So just read out the option.
You're not seeing it.
Okay,
We can't
number
see.
one option time is already going.
We can't see any of them.
The question is at the
I'm
top
just
of where
responding
we have the answer.
on the chat box because I cannot see your screen. I cannot do anything, and the Kahoot is not responding to me. I did just check the chat box.
Please, if you cannot see my screen, you can pin the screen I'm sharing. Pin it so you can and zoom it out so you can see the entire screen. The question is at the top, while the answer is at the bottom. We have four colors for the answers. We have red, we have blue, we have yellow, and we have green. So can I go ahead now? Okay, we are at 3/6. That's we've already passed three questions, so it's remaining three. So the next question. Okay, the scoreboard. We still have consolation at the top. We have T coming second and me in the third position. Wow, awesome. So the fourth question, who sponsors WTM globally? We have Amadikwe Joy, we have Google, we have Women Techmakers, and we have Microsoft. Red says Amadikwe Joy, blue WTM globally. Okay, the answer is Google. Can anyone hear me? Hello?
Yes, we
Yeah, we
can
can
hear
hear
you.
you.
We are having network issues here. It's trying to
I
connect.
think it's the network and you're still out.
Okay, we are back now. So we are done with this question. The next one we'll see the scoreboard. The scoreboard cancellation is still at the top. Yeah, T is in the second position and love. Wow, me as a second place. The next one. What are non-tech roles? What are non-tech roles? Option one says roles that requires you to write small code. Second one says roles that require you to manage projects. Fourth one says roles that do not require coding skills or other course IT skills. Yeah. So non-tech roles are those roles that do not require coding skills or other core IT skills, like our first speaker told us. Okay, next. Oh my goodness, we have T at the top now. Hello, can anyone still hear me?
Yes, we can hear you. I
Yes,
don't know
yes.
why this is always making me the fifth person. Please. Go and check this system again.
Wow, we have T at the top now, and Love in the second position, and Consolation in the third. Oh, Consolation! Wow, yeah. So the last question. Hope we all are ready for this last question. This is question that will make you a winner or the last person out. Are we ready for the last question, please? It should be 10 questions, like I said, but I don't know. I don't know. Are we ready? Are we ready? Okay. Last question. This one is still simple. Hey, I had other tough questions, so I don't know. All except one is a non-technical role. Project manager, UX designer, operations manager, back-end engineer. This was listed in our FAQ section. Our time is up. And the answer is back-end engineer. So all except one is a non-technical role. So project manager is a non-technical role. UX design is a non-technical role. Operations manager is also a non-technical role. There are other ones that she also mentioned, but back-end engineer is a technical role. Yeah, you have to write codes. Okay, so we are done 6/6. Let's see our winners. Me. Third. Second, Love. And first position, T. Wow. Congratulations, T.
I did it.
How come from third to first? Wow.
Pray for grace.
Congratulations, congratulations to T, to Love, and to me. We made it to the first third position. Eh? From behind? Not really. Okay. Okay. You mean you want to be the last person? I forgot to even ask. Like, it checks your speed and your accuracy. Like, even if you got all of them correct, but you're not fast enough, you might not make it to the first position. So you are low. Wow. Your own is cancelled. Uh, okay. We have. I don't really know. Why is it showing from JJ 0% to Rime 0, long 0? So JJ. Yeah, JJ, Dorime, long, Lola, Sissimo.
Thank you so much.
Thank you all for participating, and thank you to all our speakers for making this event a wonderful one.
Thank you. Thank you, Cynthia Ngozi for the game, even though I did not win any. I don't know why. I don't know. You people did something. You and Joy, because I was always the fifth person. Why? Eh? Hey, take
Maybe
care.
you were answering the correct, but you're not fast enough. So sorry.
I don't understand. The first person. How is the first person getting the whole question like that? Because I know I was fast too, so I'm now wondering how the first person was doing that. Okay, stop sharing your
Maybe
screen,
you're
please.
okay. Okay.
Thank you, thank you. Okay, thank you, our wonderful speakers. Thank you, Amarachi. We spoke on imposter syndrome. Thank you, Tony Tokwe. Thank you, Vina. Um, thank you, Dr. Jackson. Yeah, and Mercy. So thank you, everybody. Thank you for finding a time to join our event. So I'll be calling on the organizer of this event to give us a closing remark before we can all go back to our businesses. Okay. Joy, please.
Okay.